I figured what better time and what better place to talk about this F1 2026 DLC than the Laps Podcast YouTube channel. If you haven't already, subscribe to support the content. It helps puts us in front of more Formula One fans just like yourself. We talk about every single F1 controversy, all the biggest news. We do live streams during the races, all right here on the Laps Podcast. So if you haven't already, please hit subscribe, join the rest of the TLPs. And I figured what better time to talk about the F1 2026 DLC than with a Let's Play, something new that we could try out on the channel together. So honestly, without further ado, let's hop right into this thing. Oh, good timing by the Codemasters right there. Look, I'm incredibly excited for this. I play F1 2025. I played a lot of the F1 games in the past. I'm really excited to try this out with the DLC, see how these new cars operate, how they function, how do they work? And look, I'm not going to lie. I've peeked behind the curtain a little bit, guys. I have played a little bit of this game before walking into this video. I just wanted to get a little taste, get my feet wet. But so far, my impressions are overall are pretty positive, honestly. So let's just walk through it. Let me talk through the game as I, pull it up. You guys don't want to hear me jabber. You guys want to see people play the game and talk about the game. So let's move on over to time trial. I just want to get an impression of what the cars actually are like. I want to give you guys the proper impression of these 2026 cars that are drastically different than the 2025 cars. Visually, much different. Operationally, much different. Walking into this, I do want to give you guys the emphasis that I do manual with a suggested gear. I have no braking assist. I do use the traction control, admittedly, but that's just how I play the game, and that's how I enjoy playing this game. So we're going to use the Mercedes. I got the Mercedes cap on. I got the Mercedes t-shirt on. And what better way to try out this brand new DLC than trying out the brand new Madrid. I did take a few laps around this course, and this thing is honestly really, really tricky. The new Spanish Grand Prix alongside the Barcelona circuit that we're going to be seeing on the schedule actually here very shortly. Monaco Grand Prix weekend this weekend. We got Spanish Grand Prix right afterwards. But the Madrid is a whole different animal. It's a whole different beast. And I want to show you guys what it looks like. I know a lot of like the F1, Simulator Pro, the gaming, simulator the esports guys, excuse me, have been playing this game quite a bit, trying out the Madrid quite a bit. And honestly, it's kind of tricky. I have struggled with it quite a bit. My last couple of goes around at this circuit, I honestly felt pretty humbled, and the layout itself, as you can see already, I'm having trouble getting to grips with it. It's a lot of hard chicanes. It's a lot of hard left to rights, rights to lefts, and it's a really dynamic, hilly, up and down street course that is really, really tricky so far for me to master, if I'm being completely honest. I've clipped the wall there. I'm not doing myself any favors so far, but oh man, see that wall, it just sneaks up on you. This game is super, super tricky. This circuit anyway is super, super tricky. I'm just having trouble getting to grips with it. But it's going to be an interesting portion on the calendar. I know we've seen some media of Carlos Sainz taking a journey around this place and trying to get some general impressions. But my take on it so far, playing it, is that the Madrid is going to be quite, I don't know, it's going to be quite a challenge for some of the drivers because of the way that the battery on these cars work and the quick acceleration. It's going to be a circuit, admittedly, that does cater to this battery, this engine mode, the hard braking, the hard stopping to help generate more energy into the 50-50 power split, or the pseudo 50-50 power split anyway. I will say this, the racing line on the Madrid lies. I don't trust this racing line for a second, and this is going to be one of those that newer players are probably going to struggle quite a bit with until EA figure out exactly how this thing even works, if I'm being completely honest. Trying to stay within track limits is already pretty tricky as it stands. Let me see if I can get you guys a personal best. Watching this, keeping it in between the lines is personally one of the hardest things to do on this layout. But I will say, speaking about the cars though, the actual performance of the 2026 cars, they're pretty drastically different than the 2025 cars. I so far like them. They're a lot more twitchy. They're a lot more like front end, like darty, if that makes sense. I like the way the cars function and the way that they accelerate coming out of cornering, the way that they accelerate in general. Once you put your foot on the throttle, they really like to jump with that battery. The battery itself does have an actual impact on the performance of these cars, and it's pretty noticeable. I would say they feel for sure lighter than the 2025 simulations. They definitely feel, again, just more darty. That's the only way I feel like I can honestly articulate this well. But a lot more front end, happy. They definitely don't feel as sucked to the ground, of course, as the last cars. They don't feel as corner dependent, where you have to really round your corners and you have to make sure that you're hitting everything almost crystal clean, perfect. These cars, in a way, they're almost kind of forgiving in the sense that you can just attack a corner and then the battery doing that extra little bit of work is going to help you fire out of those corners with like that much more speed and aggressiveness. I'm doing a pretty poor job of showing it myself. Not one of the pros, of course, but the cars just behave differently. They operate differently. They function differently. I feel like in some ways they complement like the skill of the drivers pretty drastically. It just depends on your driving style. If you really love the last regulation quite a bit, I feel like these are just a very different kind of car altogether to drive and to experience and to kind of come to terms with. The Madring especially is a very different kind of layout for this game. I don't know how it would perform with the ground effect cars, but it certainly complements the way that these batteries operate and the way that the 2026 cars seem to want to operate. I'm going to finish up this lap here, and then we're going to take another tour around a different circuit layout, one that's a little bit more traditional. And maybe we'll take a look at, I don't know, let me think about it as I'm walking through the final portions of this lap. I know it's an invalidated lap, but so far this is the best lap I put together on this layout. I don't know. Let's take a look at Silverstone. I really like Silverstone. I also took a little gander at it when I first booted up the game. I feel like Silverstone's a really proper place to kind of like get a gauge on cars, to try to like learn a car. It's flat. It's the airfield. But it's, going through Maggots and Beckett's and going down the Hamilton straight, all of those things. I feel like it's a really good place to like learn. So I'm going to try to see if I can keep this one more time, tidy, going through the Madring. This is going to be a really tricky layout. I have a feeling not here. The next little section is going to be where a lot of drivers are going to get like pretty caught out. Right up this hill, honestly, this is where I keep getting caught out. I feel like if you're not really sure how to deal with the power of these cars, you're going to have a really tough time climbing that hill. And there are going to be a couple of DNFs. Maybe we're going to see some crashes during practice sessions going up that hill. That's just my general opinion. I'm not a pro, but that seems to be one of the more challenging sections of this circuit. But yeah, you can just, I don't know. I feel like I can be a lot more aggressive with these cars than maybe I could on the last cars. Definitely a little bit less weighty. Oh, that's so unfortunate. But let's round the corners. Let's wrap this lap up. A couple more corners to go. And I'm going to have to come back and practice this one on my own time. I can't be looking like a scrub too much. But Madring is it's just kind of like one of the, you just got to learn it. It's going to be completely new. It's very different. I feel like a lot of times that are going to be sticking on the boards right now are not going to be times that a lot of drivers or a lot of like sim racers can commit to. It's really tricky. It's really tricky. Let's take a look at Great Britain. Of course, classic Silverstone. Let's go official, baby. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at what they've got over in Silverstone. Like I said, I did dabble with both of these circuits just because it's new. But again, you want something familiar. Dabbling at Silverstone, I feel like, is the right place to do it. So I want to give you guys another impression. Just a circuit, again, that a lot of Formula One fans are going to be intimately familiar with. I feel like this is going to be a really good place to kind of like test the waters. I tried a setup here. I was pretty happy with it. So I'm going to load that setup and get after it. Let's get a flying lap going. Keep the Sonny Hayes helmet on the bottom of the screen, ladies and gentlemen, for our F1 movie fans. All right, I'm gonna lock in a little bit for you guys. Let's see if I can hit a new personal best. Little wide coming out of the first turn. Straight line here. Now, what is tricky is this braking zone. Yeah, I'm already down 2/10. That braking zone is extra tricky. There's something about it that with the way these new cars operate, I'm so used to just like kind of throwing the car in there and decelerating. It just operates a little bit differently with these cars. I'm gonna give it maybe one more proper lap. Let's see here, making up a little bit of time coming out of Maggots and Beckett's. Another big straight line zone. Probably overbroke there. Oh, not a great entrance to that corner. All right, let's see if I can do better on this one, guys. I'm sure there's going to be someone in the comments going like, oh, you should have done this, you should have done that. I'm figuring it out at the same time as you guys. Come on. All right, we're hugging on about a 10th my best time, that 1:29.1 in the upper right corner of the screen. Let's see if I can break it. I really want to break it on the video for you guys. I feel like I can just find more time. I just really feel like it's there. Might be all to play for coming out of that final corner. Decent out of Maggots and Beckett's. Definitely got a really good exit. Oh, super close for you guys. Not quite able to pit my best time, but it is what it is. All right, we're green. Let's see if I mess this up one more time. Oh, a little wide. Let's see if we can't recover. Oh, yeah, I definitely went off. Trying to be a little too ambitious, ladies and gentlemen, but it is what it is. But I hope that this was a fun look for you guys at F1 2026, basically F1 2026, the DLC. Overall, I'm having a lot of fun with these new cars. After driving the F1 2025 cars for quite a while, the F1 2026 cars definitely present a bit of a new challenge. But overall, I'm having a fun time. I imagine that if you're really into at least the F1 games, obviously, they're not the best true-to-life representation. Playing against like an Assetto Corsa, for instance, but they're a fun time. I have a good time. I've been playing these games for years, and the DLC itself for $25, honestly, I feel like it's kind of worth it. So if you're interested and you're thinking about getting the DLC, maybe want to give it a trial, highly recommend doing so, especially if you're a fan of these games. So the F1 2026 DLC, I give it a thumbs up. I had a pretty fun time. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below, though. And if you haven't already, please hit subscribe. We're talking F1 on this channel regularly and often. Helps push us up the algorithm with your support. Subscribing is free, and I'd certainly appreciate it. With that all being said, be safe, be well, and TLPs, let's go racing.